Hey, fellow prospectors, this is JC coming at you again with a new tutorial. This tutorial, we're going to learn how to take a historic topo map and create a Google Earth overlay with it. As usual, we're going to jump out of the launch pad over at egoldprospecting.com that you get access to if you sign up over there. We're just going to search for historical topo map. We're going to click the US one, pre-1945. We're just going to select Virginia because we actually got a request from a buddy over there in Rappahannock. Wants a little help finding where to gold detect and look for some relics. So we've got the index open and it'll show you where the old topo maps are overlaid on the current county lines. And we want Lou Rake. That is from 1886, and as that map downloads, I'll show you the index again. You can see the other areas in there. You've got Rappahannock County, Warren County to the north, Page to the west, Culpeper to the southeast. So if you want any other maps, those are all there. You can see the smaller ones over here on the east side of Virginia. Those are a little bit more detailed. Once those maps start downloading, you get to see exactly what guys were looking at in 1870s, 1880s, whenever the topos were created. You can see the small little towns, where cabins were, where trails were, things that may not be there anymore. Guess what? Those are great places to look for relics and other things if you're metal detecting or coin detecting, whatever you might want to be doing. Over in Virginia, you've got some gold. There's a band that runs down the central part of the state. I'll show that to you here in a little bit. But these old maps are great for seeing where old establishments used to be, cabins and other things. You can see there's a little town called Hitch right there north of the Jordan River. But what we're going to do, we're going to save that as soon as it's done downloading. We're going to save it to our computer drive, and then we're going to import that into Google Earth. Let me show you how quick and easy that is to do. Here we go, save image. We're going to save that image right into my eGold prospecting folder where I'm helping others out, and title's okay, so we're just going to save it. Now we're going to minimize our browser. We're going to go open up our Google Earth. Boom, there it is. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on Add Image Overlay. We're going to browse for the image. And you don't want to use the Add Image button right there. So come up, you grab it, click on the picture you want, and we are creating a new image overlay. And you will actually see that right there. And one thing we want to do, we want to sort of tweak things a little bit because the scales won't be exactly right. So what we'll do is we'll sort of shift to the side, zoom in just a little bit. As you can see, there's Sperryville on the old map. It gives you the current topo direction right there in the middle. So we're going to slow or lower the opacity so that we can see through it. See some of the current roads and current towns through that overlay. And then we're just going to grab the corners, the green sides and the green corners. You can shrink and expand it out. You can try to line up county lines. What I try to do is match up some cities that are marked. Washington is actually here in Rappahannock. It's the county seat. So there's Sperryville on the old map, overlaid almost identical to where the new one is. You can see Washington there to the northeast. And you just play with it a little bit until you start getting your lines to match up. They were pretty good at putting mountains in place, and you'd be surprised how exact they were on the mountain elevations and things. So you just line up, pick something that you want, whether it's cities or roads. Current roads actually follow the older roads. County lines are also a good thing to do because they sometimes will follow rivers or ridges, and those would have matched up, as you can see. I'm trying to match up the county lines a little bit. It takes a little bit of time to do, but you know, it's well worth it because it gives you the old historic information, and you can just click and disable that and look at the new topos, see exactly where you're going to try to find maybe an old ghost town or an old cabin, old mine. On a lot of these maps, the mines were marked very clearly. There's none on this current map just because it wasn't a very heavily mined area. And as you can see, if you click on the center crosshairs, you can move the entire thing without changing the size. But it's a lot like changing the size and scope of any picture. You just click and drag, and it changes to different dimensions. So let's see, where are we going to go next? All right, we're going to go ahead and close out of that overlay after getting it lined up relatively close. Can't do everything. If I was doing this for everybody, I'd be tied up probably too much in time. But now one other way that you can do it, you can get the current topo maps and mark the highest elevations of 2 or 3 points, and you can size off of that as well instead of using the roads or county lines like I was just doing. So you just find a high mark, you click, put a new place mark in. As you can see, just playing with it, dropping it. You want to make sure that it's clamped to the ground. I just give it the same name. Make sure the altitude and clamp to the ground. And then find another one a little bit further away to sort of give you a triangulation to allow you to zero in. So there you go. There's Red Oak Mountain on the current topo map, marked, labeled, and then you just sort of zoom out on that a little bit, overlay it onto the old historic topo maps, and you just once again change the size, reposition, try to get it as exact as you can. And it's not a perfect science, but it's a great way. I love it. It was a way that I found some old mine locations last year. So once again, there it is, trying to line up the top elevations, repositioning other odds and ends. So you can also zoom in to the street level view, and because it's clamped to the elevation, you can zoom in real close, and what you're looking at is the historic topo map just clamped right there to the ground, and the elevation changes and everything else. You can zoom around a little bit, sort of see, here's that little Washington where the county seat is. You can see the names of the little mountains, the streams, towns that may not even be there anymore. Once again, if you're metal detecting, make sure that you have permission from the property owner to go on there. I know back east you got to worry about that quite a bit. Make sure that you have permission and that you can detect that area and keep what you find or share it with the owner. So hope that helps you out, and get out there. I hope you find what you're looking for. Visit me over at egoldprospecting.com. I like helping folk out. Take care.